6, 4, 5, 6, 0. Connected to node 5, 6, 4.
Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. W7 ITL testing complete.
Node 3, 6, 7, 0, 0, 2, 8. Connected to node 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 0. Node 3, 0, 4, 0, 8, 8, 3. Connected to node 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 0.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain, and it spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about our group, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. And also you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we simulcast our audio on Western Washington WW7STR's 2-meter repeater, 147.08, with a tone of 103.5. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has an emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, welcome back. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. So far checked into the net is Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check in? Hearing none, let's start off the net with Bob, K9PQ.
Well, hey Dave. Good evening, everybody. This is Bob, K9PQ, and Dave, just to let you know, there appears to be some interference tonight, and I noticed it last net as well. Not sure the nature of it. But it's coming through, at least on your signal. I don't know if it's coming through via Echolink, but it's out there. Well, today was a beautiful morning, sunny. Woke up to sunshine. A very strange view to me, though, because it was sunshine rising up over Puget Sound, and as you guys know, it should be setting over Puget Sound, but I'm on a very kind of a weird curve on the west side of Whidbey Island, and the water curves around, and so it actually was, of course, rising in the east as it should, but it looked from my angle as if it was rising from the west. I had a beautiful view of Glacier Peak as well, which was in the sunshine well into the day. The clouds did come in, but it was all in all a very nice day. Had a nice chat with family. This was our family Zoom chat that we do once a month. So it was nice to catch up with those folks, and just kind of in a holding pattern for the house. We're still waiting on the appraisal report to come through. That's the last thing that's sort of we're just waiting on, and I thought we would have it by now, but we don't. So we're still waiting. Okay, that's good for starters. I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. And let's see if we can pick up Richard, K7ITX. What say you, Richard?
Well, yeah. K7ITX here in Kent, Washington. Yeah, it was a beautiful day. Just spectacular. Um, Saturday is usually lately kind of a recovery morning for me after having dialysis the evening before, which kind of drains me quite a bit. Makes me feel very, very tired when I'm done, and the next day difficult to sleep and all that. But boy, with the sun out coming through all our windows on the south elevation, warming up the house and shining right on my recliner, I was able to nap and look at Mount Rainier at the same time, all in one day. It was really beautiful. And even got a chance to drive Debbie's electric car. We had some damage. A tree fell over in our backyard. Not a big tree, but a tree that we've had for 30 years. So it was kind of sad to see that happen. And then we had the local handyman, Augustine, came over for $150 and made quick work of it. Something I couldn't do. Lost a little bit of privacy, so that's kind of a bummer. We'll probably just have grass where it was growing before. And then Bob, I'm sorry to hear you haven't got the appraisal yet. I'm sure there must be a little bit of anxious anxiety. There sure is on my part, just in support of your efforts to get your business taken care of. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and we'll keep praying. And I guess we're going to wait for the next onslaught of rain. It's supposed to be coming in, I guess, Sunday night, Monday. Oh, boy. I'm not looking forward to it, that's for sure. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. Let's pick up Wade in Tacoma, W7ITL. What's
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. I hear myself. And there I see myself, so we're good to go. Yeah, what a day, I tell you. We had W7DK's annual banquet at the Eagles Club on South Tacoma. It was really good. There was a lot of awards given out. I was given one for all the efforts I'm doing at the club for DATV and Mesh Core and just the repeater work. So that was nice to be recognized. Besides that, been stuffing envelopes for Christmas cards, getting those all ready to go out for get those out to everybody. So yeah, that's about all I've done today. Yeah, I did good one more thing, but I guess I could save it for the next round since we're probably only got minimal people tonight. So I'll turn it back to Dave, Net Control. And yeah, Dave, I did notice some kind of noise on your signal, so I don't know if your radio's doing that or maybe the repeater is sending audio from your DATV and your 2-meter radio at the same time, causing interference. So just an FYI, but I can understand you still. And Bob, nerve-wracking on the appraisal, and Richard and the tree. Sounds like you got away pretty easy with only $150 damage, getting the tree removed, but now you have a little less privacy. So with that said, I'll turn back to Net Control. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks with that. Let's see if we can pick up Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Dave, yeah, I heard earlier, I heard some motorboating on your transmissions. However, it was only on 2 meters. Your audio sounded good on the television repeater. And also this last transmission that you made, it sounded perfectly fine. So, not sure what to make of that. Bob, a monthly family Zoom. What a wonderful sounding idea. I don't know if I could get my family all coordinated to do something like that at the same time. I don't know how you manage that, but I think it's wonderful. And sorry about the holding pattern for your house. Man, I don't know. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Really, a real pain to get things accomplished. I thought it was me when I first moved here, but everyone else seems to be having similar problems. So I don't know. Good luck. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you. I think it's going to be just fine. I'm optimistic now, whereas earlier I wasn't. But I'm optimistic now. It's just going to take some time, whenever they feel like it. Go figure. Dick, yeah, 30-year-old tree fell over. That is a bummer. Wow. So it sounds like you're not doing dialysis tonight. You're recovering. That sounds good. You certainly sound chipper tonight. And I hear you fine on both repeaters. Wade, congratulations on the award. Annual banquet, Radio Club of Tacoma. That sounds like something worth attending. I'm getting emails from them. Never got around to make it to a meeting down there, but maybe someday. And what I wound up doing today is going to a Christmas party that ate up a significant part of the day. Lots of singing Christmas carols, even though alcohol was not involved, and lots of eating and just visiting with some old friends. So that was a fun time. And back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day it was. A little sunshine out there. I've got 46 degrees here, and it's a little bit overcast here in Lake City. But I got out today doing some of the holiday shopping, get that out of the way. Some of the festivities start tomorrow and continue through to the New Year. So anyway, been getting on top of all of that. So been enjoying watching some football games. Tonight I've been watching the Massacre WSU's, University of Washington's football been playing, and they just took over Boise State. So anyway, it was a pretty lopsided game. And that's about what's happening here. And I see that Lee, N7KC, has joined us in Port Angeles. So I'm going to send back to Lee, N7KC. What say you, Lee?
Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're cooking. All right, this is Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles, actually the west side of town, still in the city limits, but on the west side. Well, good evening, everybody. Yes, and Wade, congratulations. Well deserved. Yes, I'm sure you make a difference there. Well done. And yeah, well, we had a lot of rain here. We didn't have near as much as other places because we are kind of shadowed, but we did have about 1.7 inches, something like that, over 3 days. So it made a big difference. It brought us up to 20 inches for the year. They advertise this place as having 25 annually, and I doubt seriously that we'll make it by the end of December. Now, the interesting thing is that the Elwha River here, um, all right, for many years, it's had a couple of dams on it which could regulate the flow. But since they took the dams out, I think this is probably true. Um, the highest discharge rate at the gauging station of what's called McDonald Bridge, which is, if you know where the bridge crosses the Elwha west of Port Angeles, you go about a mile south of that on the river, and there used to be a bridge called the McDonald Bridge, and they put the gauging station there. And the bridge is no longer there, but they still call it the McDonald Bridge Gauging Station. Well, anyway, the maximum discharge, as measured there, over 112 years was 11,100 cubic feet per second. And this particular rain event, and it's pretty warm, I think it melted some snow too, it was 16,600, 50% higher than the all time high on the river. But then you have to realize that the river flow rate was controlled pretty well by the dams until about 12 years ago when they took the last one out. So while it sounds like an enormous increase, it may, back in the day, it may have been that higher if the river had run wild. So I don't know. But anyway, it was high, very, very high. And we didn't go down and take a look at it, but it must have been dramatic where it goes into the strait. Yeah, we went to the symphony this morning. We have season tickets to the dress rehearsal, and the auditorium holds 1,100 people. The Performing Arts Center at the high school. It's very nice, according to the director of the symphony, Jonathan Pasternak. It has the best acoustics of any performance hall uh, west of St. Louis. Anyway, it's really nice. And they had a guest cellist in today, uh, Gregorio Nieto. He's from Venezuela, and it was just simply dazzling. He was here once before, a year ago, and so they had him back. But he works between Mexico City and New York City, and he is something. He is something to behold. So this was a Christmas concert, and boy, um, yeah, it was just I just can't tell you what it was like. And the attendance at the dress rehearsal in the morning was probably 500 people. Probably half the hall was filled, and then they probably sold it out tonight. So in Saturday morning, it's the gray top folks like most of us who don't want to drive at night to go downtown, or not downtown. Actually, it's slightly above town to go to a concert. We used to do that for years until COVID came along. Then we switched to Saturday mornings, and we like it a lot better. We get the whole concert, and if they do stop to practice something, it's interesting to hear that too. Anyway, it's lots of fun. I've held it long enough, and I just wanted to drop in here and say hello. By the way, Discord is not working properly for me tonight. And it seems that they made some changes to it um, when it was upgraded. And the normal places I click, like that Watts thing that was up on the upper left, doesn't work anymore. And I stumbled around a little bit before I finally got this thing to go. But other that Davey sounded okay to me on the stream and so forth. So anyway, I'll turn it back to you, Dave, and we'll say, yeah, hi to Jim and Wade and I guess Ron's off doing something, and Richard. And you guys, I hope you have a good season. I'm going to retire from this to the next room over for uh, some video that Paul is holding up for me. So anyway, thank you, Dave. Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays. This is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Back to you, Dave.
N7KC, thanks with that. Let's pick up Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, thanks, Dave, and good to see you and hear from you, Lee. That's really cool about the concert. And you've mentioned that before about going to the dress rehearsal. I think that's a great idea. Well, Lee is gone, but I did want to mention something came up on the family call today. First of all, to Jim, yeah, it's pretty cool. We started in COVID, and we didn't do anything like this before that, but I think we started it because we couldn't have our family reunion with COVID, and so we said, let's do this, and it's just continued on, and it's once a month, and it works well. My one sister organizes it, and not everyone makes it. There are 7 of us, brothers and sisters total, that would be on the call, and I think we had 4 today, and that's pretty average. That's pretty normal. Sometimes we get 5, and every so often we get all of us. But what came up today was my brother Don is in Mexico at the ocean and was seeing whales go by, and it reminded me of a whale watching tour I did with Lee out of Port Angeles when I came to visit him one time, and we rented we paid to get on one of the whale watching boats, and I don't normally go in for those things, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and absolutely recommend it, especially since I don't know how much longer they'll be continued to allowed to go. I don't know what the current state is. This was a few years ago, and at that time there was talk already they wanted us to stay back away, some distance away from the whales, which was fine. We were plenty close enough to see well. But just not to disturb them too much. And there was talk of banning it altogether. So if you're interested, I recommend you go before it gets banned, if that's still something that may happen. Wade, yeah, congratulations to you on those awards. Well earned, I'm sure. Knowing what you've been doing for them, I think it's really great, and it helps our club too. It's exciting. Jim, yeah, Christmas party. I don't think I'll be attending any Christmas parties this year. There's been one other Christmas I can think of where I didn't get together with family over Christmas. It just was the way it worked out. All the local family people that I'd get together with had gone out of town for Christmas. So, and it was fine. And this will be perfectly fine because I will have plenty to do, unpacking and getting things in. And yeah, I'm quite confident now myself. In fact, I've started to call it my new home already. That's how confident I am. And another level of confidence is that I've already started renting a space for my trailer. I got a storage space for my trailer, a covered storage space. So that's set up. What else do we got? Oh, Dave, yeah, the Huskies. I did check in earlier, and they were already just really beating Boise State by a lot, so I'm not surprised that's continuing. And Richard, the tree removal, yeah, we had a tree come down in a windstorm at our condo, and fortunately it only got the garage. It didn't go into any people's units, but yeah, that's a dangerous thing. So I guess it's a mixed blessing, right? It's you don't like losing that privacy, but that's one less tree to fall on you. I guess. Okay, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. Let's pick up Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah. Boy, yeah. Wade, congratulations. Thank you for doing all that, the work you've done for our club and W7DK. My dad is smiling down on you from heaven right now. He was one of the, I wouldn't say the founder, but he was one of the early participants. Did a lot of the carpentry, remodeling of the clubhouse. He was real super active in the early 60s, 1960 on up through, and then even into the 70s and 80s. And then, of course, he passed on. But he thought a lot of the club. I went there a lot as a young man, and high school business. Saw my first lasers in my life at the clubhouse back in the 60s. It was pretty. It was just incredible to see that kind of stuff back then, and staring right at the future, for sure. Just like he would be smiling down. He loved electricity, and so he always wanted an electric car. He's one of the first people I ever knew who got a hybrid. And he got a hybrid probably about 25 years ago, and then he even built a 1929 Mercedes Gazelle replica. So he was really fascinated with mechanics, and if he knew that I had an all-electric car now, and I'm sure he does, and in fact, I don't know, I think he helped the stars line up, because, wouldn't you know it, I have the 240 volt outlet right exactly where I park my new EV, and how would the builder of this house 30 years ago know to put the outlet right where I'm going to be parking my new electric car? Pretty amazing stuff when the stars line up like that. It's just so fun to plug that car in and unplug it and go zipping along with this quiet electric sound. And the centrifugal force you get pushing you back in the seat when you hit the accelerator. The tires don't spin; they grip because of the weight of the battery, and you're off like a rocket ship. So now, as I was talking to Dave earlier, let me take a break. As I was talking to Dave earlier about charging the car, there's, so many varying opinions on how to treat the battery, whether you charge it up to 80%, 60%, the manufacturer says 90%. Dave does a trickle charge, 110 volts, with his battery. Even that's a good way of doing it as well. So, but right now, we just keep it plugged in all the time, and I got it set to go to 80% early in the morning, around 2 or 3 in the morning. So it's just been really exciting to have that, and thank God we have the garage for it. This is K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's pick up Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
W7ITL, just having some technical difficulties. Just about a minute, and just half a second here. I just got to keep back up.
All right. Let's see. We got the screen up here, so I'm just showing off a coverage map that I'm building out for Mesh Core. I'm not the only one contributing to this. I'm not the one who wrote the software, but I've been contributing measurements. So I've been driving around Tacoma, just measuring what signals that I can get. The software just automatically, it plots as you drive along the road. So up here is where my house is. This one right here that I got zoomed in, that's my coverage that I'm contributing to Tacoma. You can select different repeaters to kind of figure out where their coverages are. So this is my little repeater. This is my car repeater. This is a Radio Club of Tacoma's repeater. So I got most of the downtown and North Tacoma mapped out. Did that over the last couple days. So if you zoom out, these are all the other people contributing maps to kind of figure out where the dead zones are and so forth. Looks like I timed out here. Oh, it's coming back. Yeah, so up here you got the bigger repeaters. I think this is, I'm not sure what that one is, but it's got some really good coverage. So you can just select on each one of these. So that's kind of what I wanted to show off. Besides that, I went to breakfast at IHOP with my daughter this morning. We had some good conversation and a lot of fun. So it's been a really good day. Let me see. Richard, inspiring story about your dad, and thanks for the kudos, everybody, for letting me know about my award. I wasn't the only one who got an award, but it was nice being recognized by the club. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the next round, but I'll try my best. Getting pretty tired. Lots of activity, and didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So I'll turn back to our net control. Dave, this is W7.
W7ITL, thanks with that. Let's pick up Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Watching football. Lopsided game. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy watching some games, but when they get a little boring, like only one side seems to be playing, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to say I turn them off, but I definitely find something else to do while the game is on. Lee, I guess Lee finally got some rain in PA. That's good, and sounds like a good time at the symphony/concert. Bob, Zoom during the pandemic, that was a good idea, and carrying it forward. Yeah, I know people who wound up, rather than going to work at their office, would work at home and just have meetings by way of Zoom. And then they found afterwards that they could really accomplish a lot doing that. So now a lot of people are reluctant to go to work. They'd rather stay at home. But, oh well. It's going to take us a while to recover from this pandemic. Everything got kind of messed up, unusual. And as the whales, I don't think you can get as close to the whales now as you used to be able to a year or maybe it was 2 years ago. I remember they gave out some numbers on television, and it was surprising to me how far they want you to be away from the whales. But I'm not 100% sure if that was just proposed or if that is the law which was recently enacted. I think the latter, but I'm not sure. And it's great that you got a covered storage area for your trailer. In the past, I had my pop-up trailer and I had a camper van. And out in the elements in Texas, they were just always getting all kinds of debris and crud on them. I had to scrub off the roofs in particular of my trailer and van from time to time. And then in my driveway, I had a couple of tall pine trees right next to the driveway, and some ornery squirrel would throw pine cones at me while I'm trying to wash my vehicles. I suppose he moved on. He probably passed the task of throwing pine cones at people to his children or something. My wife was amused by it anyway. Dick, your father got a hybrid. I've noticed there are a number of amateurs who seem to be involved in electric cars. We, in fact, had a fellow at this club, Norris, W7LAP, who's now a silent key. He modified his car to work on electric, removed the engine and transmission, and stuck an electric motor in there and a whole bunch of batteries. And in fact, he made up some business cards with a little picture of his car embossed in it. Kind of cool, interesting idea. And he said there are kits out there which you can buy to modify your cars. I'm not sure if they're still available or not now that everyone is selling electric cars or hybrid cars, but years ago they were. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. Let's see. I wonder, Dick, I wonder if that high voltage outlet was inside your garage or outside your garage. I had a previous owner at my house installed an outlet, and what he would do is he would plug in a generator to this outlet which he installed, and he would disconnect his system from the main power line, and then he'd just plug the generator in there and power his house whenever commercial power went down. I wonder if that's why the outlet wound up where it did on your property. Wade, thanks for showing that map. That looked pretty cool. You didn't mention the URL for that. I couldn't quite read all the characters. It looked like it said mesh dot something. I can't get the resolution on that. If you think of it, mention what that is. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
And 7QO, thanks with that. This is Dave, KD7CYM. And time to get another ID again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm disappointed with all of this rain that was coming down. We seem to be sheltered pretty well anyway up here in the north side of Seattle. I only had about a quarter inch of rain where everybody just got inundated with downpours around the area, but I guess that's because of the shadow of the mountains to the west of Seattle, the Cascades. Anyway, that seemed to blanket the area here for rain coming down. And let's see, I just got a final in on the Boise State UW game. Boise State finally made a touchdown, and so it ended up 10-38 with UW winning the game. So that's what's happening here. So that's about what's happening here, and again, many thanks to Wade for all of the effort that he's put into getting our ATV unit going and our transmitter up at the site and all of the digital stuff that he sort of pioneered with it to get it going on the air, and was able to help each and all of us that are on the air with digital TV to get our units working fine. So anyway, again, many thanks to Wade. And this is Dave, K7ZYM. So I'm going to move it back over to Bob, K9PQ.
Thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Yeah, that's interesting that you also are in a bit of a rain shadow. I am here, but I will tell you where they are not in a rain shadow, and that is around the Bellingham area. My brother Don is, as I mentioned, he's the one that's in Mexico right now. Beautiful sunny weather and beaches and all that fun stuff. But back at his home, they're getting drenched, and he shared with us a video that somebody, I think, had shared with Como of their own house floating away on rushing flooded river in Deming, which is a town near Bellingham. And there are a lot of rivers up around there that flood, pretty regularly, somewhat similar to like I think of the Carnation area. You get flooding of the Snoqualmie in the Carnation area. They get it up there pretty regularly, but this was, of course, just horrible. Richard, interesting history about your dad. I'm not sure you might have mentioned that before, but I really liked how you sort of expanded on how he helped, do some of the work, the building work on the clubhouse and all that stuff. That's cool stuff. Wade, I think that's great with the MeshCore coverage map and you driving around to fill out the map. I think that's really cool too. And Jim, I like that squirrel story. I just have this image in my mind of a squirrel sitting up there waiting for you to start washing your car and then throwing pine cones down onto you. And also how nice to be reminded of Norris. Norris, I knew him for a little while. You guys had known him, some of you, Dave and let's see, well, Lee and Ron, who aren't here now, and I'm not sure about Richard, but I know, those of us that knew Norris knew he was quite a guy and was a doer, like he would the modifying car to electric. And the other thing I remember was we went over to his house one time. I think would help him erect an antenna outside. And up in his attic, where he had his ham shack, I believe, he had this very large parabolic reflector that was his ATV antenna. Very cool. Really cool. I'd like to know what happened to that. If anybody knows, that would be interesting. Okay, I'll send it back. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's pick up Richard, K7ITX.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave, for the football report. I'll be watching the Seattle Seahawks tomorrow afternoon on television. They're playing the Colts. Now, I guess that would be Indianapolis. I always want to say Baltimore, but I'm pretty sure it's Indianapolis Colts. And they're actually bringing a retired quarterback onto the field because they need him. So hopefully that means that the Seattle Seahawks have a better chance of winning. They've got a pretty good record right now, 10 wins, 3 losses, and so they're just sizing up to be formidable. I'm having a couple of my best friends over this coming Thursday night. The Seattle Seahawks are playing the Los Angeles Rams, and that's an evening game, and it's Thursday night, which is unusual, but not unusual. It's kind of weird to say that, but they are playing that night, and that could be, I hate to say it, that could be our Super Bowl. We have to beat the Rams. We literally have to. If the Rams can dominate us in any way, shape, or form, then I don't see how we can, do much going forward in the playoffs. But I don't know. Everybody learns from their mistakes, and this could be a learning experience for the Seahawks. Or they'll thump the Rams and just keep marching forward and run the table. Wouldn't that be fun? So that's what I'm looking forward to, you guys. I know some of you aren't sports fans, but I'm a sucker. That's one thing I did learn from the original K7ITX. My dad, boy, did he love the NFL. He loved the NFL football when nobody else really liked it back in the early '60s. It wasn't nearly as popular then as it is now, and we didn't have a team back in the early '60s. If you wanted to have a team and you lived up around these parts, you pretty much kind of went for the Oakland Raiders and George Blanda and his one-man team spirit of quarterbacking and kicking field goals and just doing a fantastic nail-biting win week after week after week. Boy, oh boy. George Blanda, weren't those the days? So with that, I doubt if it's going to get back to me again, so I'll say 73. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's see if Wade's still with us. W7ITL.
All right. Okay, guys. Let's see. Do I have audio? Okay. Yeah, that's about all I got. But Richard, your story about your dad, your stories are very interesting. And the stories about how we really didn't have a football team per se, so we kind of rooted for the closest thing that we had, which was the Oakland Raiders, and I think the LA Rams were kind of the other team, maybe. I'm not sure if it wasn't from that era. But that's good. I will say 73s, everybody. I gotta head out, so I'll see you guys hopefully Wednesday if everything goes to plan and I don't have anything that gets in the way. But if not, we'll see you hopefully before the end of the holiday season here. So, all right. Well, I'll catch you guys all later.
W7ITL, thanks with that. And for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's pick up Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, good night, Wade. Thank you for joining us. Outstanding job keeping the television repeater going just fine tonight. Well, Dave, yeah, you lucked out with the rain. There's lots of soggy ground around here. I went somewhere yesterday. No, it was Thursday. Went somewhere. It was a meeting of a bunch of retirees and who work together, and not everyone was able to make it there. They called in and said, "Hey, I've got some really deep water between me and you guys. We're not going to make it." So, yeah, you lucked out, Dave. And whoever's in a dry area there. Bob, I was thinking about you, hoping you weren't anywhere where your trailer would sink into the ground, so good to hear that. Bob, I don't know what happened to Norris's huge dish. I kind of lost touch there. Norris would occasionally run the television net from my house because his daughter lived in the subdivision right across the street from my subdivision. So he would occasionally do a twofer. He'd visit his daughter, and then he'd leave his daughter's place and come to my house and run the television net from my place. And I'm not even sure if his daughter's still there anymore. But yeah. Anyway, brings back memories. Well, let's see. I happen to notice there must be a lot of moisture in the air. It is really foggy by my house right now. I'm showing 43 degrees. It feels colder than that. You can see your breath out there, but I think it's not really so much the cold, but there's moisture in the air. It's like you're in a cloud or something. It's kind of cool outside, but I don't know. That's. I just happened to observe that on the way over here to the shack. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. This is Dave.
KYM. Well, as far as fog goes, gosh, this morning I got up and it was really foggy in Lake City. Visibility was down to about a half a block, but within 3 hours it had cleared away and sunshine finally came out, and it was actually a very nice afternoon here in Lake City. So that's what's happening here. And as we kind of winding down the net for this evening, but we still have time to pick up Bob, K9PQ, and Bothell. Not Bothell. I don't know where Bob is tonight. K9PQ.
Thanks, Dave. You know, it's funny you say that. I'm not 100% sure where I am myself. They call it Keystone. You might have heard that, the Keystone to Port Townsend Ferry. But then also people call it Coopville. So it's one of those two. We'll just call it Coopville/Keystone. Thanks for the Norris story there, Jim. I did not know that. I'm sorry I left out your name earlier. Yeah, of course you knew him for a long time. And that's interesting that he would come by your place for the nets. That's pretty cool. Richard, I remember those NFL days. My dad played small college football, very small college. It would, by today's standards, it would be more like high school football. The South Dakota School of Mines and Technology is who he played for. And but he loved watching, and we it was a ritual for us to watch the Husky games every Saturday at 1 p.m. guaranteed. And those were the days when you only had the 3 big TV stations and a couple of other locals, and so it was always on. I think maybe Dave could tell me. I think it was on Como all the time, and they were we'd watch it, and then Sunday they had something you'd never ever see anymore. They took the entire hour of the game and showed only the plays. So you could watch the entire hour in an hour. There must have been commercials, but I don't remember there being commercials. But anyway, they were able to show every single play from snap to when that ball was down, and all fit it all in within an hour, and it was really cool. But yeah, that was another time for sure. And I do remember watching the Raiders were my team, and I also like the Steelers because I like their uniforms. So there you go. Okay, I'll send it back. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's pick up Richard, K7ITX.
All right, K7ITX. I'm going mobile right now with Pippa. I think she needs to take a step outside and go potty. So I'm doing that for her. Going down to the door to let her outside. So come on. Let's go. Come on. Go. Go outside. Oh, geez, I think this was a false alarm. What do you know? Well, that's not. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on. I'll be darned. I went all the way outside myself. So anyway, that's what happens when you have pets sometimes. We don't have a doggy door, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So yeah, what a great night tonight, you guys. Thanks a lot for showing up and being on the air. I enjoyed all the stories. And okay. We got our roommates showing up. So what do you know? K7ITX 73. Everyone have a good night. Talk to you later.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And for a final, let's pick up Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Bob, let's see, Keystone/Coopville. I think I've actually heard someone refer to it that way. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something different, but I seem to remember it that way anyway. No guarantees. My memory is not what it used to be. And let's see, show an entire football game in an hour? That's like the Cliff Notes, which I'll tell you what, they'd probably get a whole lot more people watching the games if they could accomplish that. That's a great idea. They should bring that back. And Dick, thanks for the opportunity for giving Pippa a chance there. I don't know. I was going to make a little joke here, but probably ought not to do that on the air. Anyway, thanks everyone for participating, and hope to catch you all on Wednesday. And I hope that the rains that are supposed to come on Monday do not overwhelm everyone like they did this last go-around. So watch out for it. Watch out for the weather. It's coming. And see you all Wednesday. K7ZYM and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net, broadcasting in digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. So with that, we'll wind up the net for this evening. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City, saying goodbye to all. Signing off the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening.
Node 3040883 disconnected. Node 367002 disconnected. Node 66542 disconnected.